Hi, welcome to Bunny's podcast. Everything fell through tonight, and we all started drinking. So this is
It's not my fault.
It's gonna be a shoot the shit kind of episode.
It's not my fault. Don't blame me.
This is like a 0.5 episode. This isn't a full.
This is a 1.1.
We can talk about how we all met and shit since we're all drinking.
Oh yeah!
Yay!
We can reminisce because we gotta tell the fine people about the lore behind how we all met.
Oh yes.
Indeed.
All right, so in here we got Irish.
Yay!
Atticus.
Atticus the Death Metaler, please subscribe.
No.
9.
Hey.
And we got Rhett.
What's up?
You guys sound so thrilled. I'm so happy. Drinking. I'm getting berry. Insert image here, Atticus, of the berry blast drink.
Okay, so what I'm drinking right now, I am drinking a Maltese from Unibrew, Quebecan beer that is 8% alcohol volume. I haven't drank this in a while, and it's like, you know what? I miss you, you little devil.
8%.
8% all the way.
Indeed.
Irish, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Budweiser. Or Boomers, whatever you want to call it.
Budweiser.
It's
Budweiser.
4.3%.
4.3.
Yeah.
I know 3 was the number.
3!
Oh, 3. Oh.
Yes!
Yeah, that's what that. It's his his accent.
We usually understand 70% of what he says, but now that we're all drinking, I think it went down to 60%.
Fuck you,
I can
buddy.
still understand it.
Just don't give him numbers.
Fuck you, 9.
I love you too.
No. No one loves you.
Yeah.
So what's Bunny drinking?
Drinking berry blast, and I'm getting berry blasted. This is 2 cans deep. Might crack open a third. I don't know. I don't know.
Hello, Cheeto. Welcome
Hi,
back.
Cheeto.
Oh,
Cheeto's back.
hold on a sec. Oh, yeah. Making foods. Ow, hold on. I gotta.
Cheeto, what are you guys drinking tonight? Can you show us?
Yes.
Share to the class.
Nice.
Hazy Domination.
Is that one of the 300 and odd cans that were donated?
304. And then there's also. Here, let me grab a can. There's also another kind of beer we're drinking called.
Oh no, ketamine's awake, and he's gonna see us all. let him join too.
Ooh, Megalodon.
So how many cans of beer are on the wall?
That's a
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
can.
Like
Yeah, isn't
300,
it?
400?
I don't know how many we drank so far, but there were 304 to begin with.
Okay, for context for the podcast,
Insane.
Cheeto got donated a lot of cans. We explain as we interview him, but basically, he got a lot of cans for a reason. It's not just because he has
Over
them.
300.
Yeah, there's a big reason for this donation, by the way. It's not just because he has them, right, Cheeto?
Yeah, there's so many. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, please do, because it's complete madness. But there is a reason behind the madness, because Cheeto would explain it in a bit, but it's complete madness of why he has 300 cans of beer just laying there. Cheeto would explain. Go on, if you want to explain that, Cheeto, you can.
Well, my friend from when I was a kid, one of my oldest friends sent me, donated all these beers because of all of the protest stuff we've been doing here in Portland, and because I'm stuck at home with this brace right now, or sling.
Exactly.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're getting way off topic. So
Are we doing this? Are we like starting the legit thing?
No.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what is 9 and Philosopher drinking?
42s in plastic bottles because I hate myself.
And what about you, 9?
Just Gatorades and chocolate milk.
Okay.
What are you smoking?
5 different kinds of dab. Well, one's a live resin.
Okay. All right. So let us do the lore of how all of us met and shit.
Yes, that's
the
what
big
brought
thing.
us all here together to the fucking asylum.
Yeah, what brought us to this podcast, what started this madness, of the Buddy and Friend podcast.
We could, you know what? I think we can sum it up in one word very easily: woke.
Woke
Brought us together. So 3 months ago, I guess today's the 100th anniversary. Actually, today's the 100th day of the protest. I think.
Congratulations, America!
So 100 days ago, George Floyd got killed in these protests, and sometimes riots started springing up all over the states, and a bunch of people started streaming on different platforms, from Facebook to YouTube to Periscope, and I mean, when I was watching these videos, I had like fucking, 10 tabs open of different streamers trying to watch them all at once. And then all of a sudden, this channel called Woke comes out of nowhere on Twitch and combines all the streamers' screens into one big collage so you could see what's happening. So that's twitch.tv/woke. If you guys
link in description.
Link in description. But as we were watching this, there's chat going all the time, and I guess so many people joined that they had to make it a subscriber only chat and Discord, especially for voice chat in the Discord. And the voice chat of the Discord of the Woke server is where we all met.
Yep.
And yeah, exactly. And I want to point this out that the five of us, or whatever, how many of us here, we all met because we're here today is because of one person, not just three, but there's one person in particular that we have to kind of thank and kind of give a big thanks to. Is he's here today? There's
a reason we all moved to this server.
Yeah.
How did we move here? Why did we move here?
Yeah, exactly. It's the one and only 9. He literally started
the cult.
Yeah, he started this cult. It's cult, but whatever you want to call it.
It's not technically a cult. It's just like, a hangout of all you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely a cult. It definitely has some strong bonds in there. We all ended up starting getting banned one by one for various reasons, and we had nowhere to go. We were all refugees. We needed a camp.
Yeah.
So basically,
camp.
I wanted I wanted, just to hang out with Bunny and to see all the other guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. So other than Atticus, so me and Atticus met before the whole woke thing went down. I was watching some YouTube videos, Dobby Vanity, and Onision, ran into fucking Atticus's videos, and I was like, this guy's funny, and we're like into a lot of the same shit. So then I Instagram stalked you and I messaged you on there and you're like, are you that girl that left the comment on YouTube? I was like, how the fuck? How the fuck did you know it was me?
I was like, oh, this girl liked my stuff, and then, found one thing another, and it's just like, I mean, we're in here now, and it's like, despite how shitty this year has been for me, honestly, you were like the best thing that's ever happened to me this year.
Aww.
Yay, but cute.
Gay!
I know
honestly, my moment.
But, oh god, it was a senpai notice me thing, even though I had like 2K subscribers and shit. But
the internet brought us all together, like commenting and fucking being in the chat and being part of like this like little off-brand community brought us together.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Moments brought to you by Hallmark.
Hallmark moments of 2020.
Oh yes.
But serious.
I've never actually seen a dumpster on fire today.
Today.
Okay, Cheeto.
Lights came on.
Well, that's not normal for you. Okay? But in all seriousness, however bad this year has been, I feel that 2020, with everything that's going, like the protests, like I've met all these people that like are amazing and talented people. That even if it's the worst year you could think of, you have to see good things in what's going on. I bet all these people, yeah, exactly, because
a lot of good came out of it. Especially because of lockdown, we're all stuck inside with each other anyways. So like, so much shit started happening. Like hell, this podcast was born out of a fucking joke.
Exactly. It's like we have to see the good things in things, because it's the whole
Agreed.
year. The whole year was shit. We have to
Well, make the best of what we have.
yeah, because we have to make the best of what has come about us, because it's a shit year in general. But
Fuck, it's just worse and worse every month.
I think the
yeah,
year's been shitty, but I've met some of the best people. Like
exactly. It's not,
community and stuff. Like
Out of everybody, Cheeto's life has probably changed the most.
Him and his roommates have
well-
fucking changed lots.
yeah, I mean, life is definitely different. My day-to-day life consists of myself plus other people who need assistance too. So that's definitely different. But protesting, not so different.
yeah,
Okay,
like
so let's dive into some of the questions then.
Yeah.
That would be good. So first
That
off,
might-
Cheeto, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm
yeah.
Cheeto. I've been protesting for a long time. My first protest was in 1999 in Seattle, WTO, World Trade Organization. Skipped out of high school from Oregon, went up to Seattle and dealt with some tear gas and all that craziness. And then
I never realized that you've been protesting for so long.
that was the first of many. And then it just kept going and going and going. I've been a political activist for I don't even know how long, and union negotiator, just like doing a bunch of dirty work, I guess.
It sounds like you're like a person of the people.
I love people. I like moved around a bunch of my life, so like friend groups have always been changing. So
Mhm.
but in like the protest scene here in Portland, the protest scene is a fucking scene.
Right.
It is
Well,
a
I
thing
feel
that
like
people
Portland
do.
is like whenever we watch the stream, even if it's on a like quote unquote quiet night, like you can guarantee Portland is going to be up on the screen no matter
yeah.
what.
It's taking
yeah.
up a quarter of the screen every night.
Oh yeah, so we're talking about the stuff on Cheeto's end.
Yeah, he was like, we met Cheeto because he was streaming. Like he's been on the front lines of this since day one. Like, the Sacred Fence, as we all know. Again, Atticus, insert image here of Sacred Fence around the Justice Center. Cheeto was like on it, filming everything, like right from the front lines, getting gassed as he's streaming for us.
Like I always said, like that's the thing about Cheeto. Like I always said Cheeto can back me up on this one. I always said to Cheeto about like his style of like live stream. There's a lot of live streaming that goes on at this time. Like, a ton, like obviously, but Cheeto's was different, and that's why I felt that he was like the best out of everyone, because he got in there. He didn't just like
It
do
felt
it
more
for
personal.
yeah.
And you've never been afraid to like get right up. Like you were always right in the front.
He fucking never stood there and talked about it.
Let Cheeto speak.
Oh no, I love the front. Like the front is where I want to be. Like where else? Like that's where everything's happening. Like that's where we're confronting the police or whoever we're confronting. Right now we're confronting the police, so that is where everything is happening. I think for me is that I've been doing it for a long time, and so I'm like people let me stand in front of them, in between them and the cops, and let me get all the way to the very front. Like
Yeah.
to the very front.
Cheeto, my question is you've been protesting a long time now, but do you feel that like this time is different? Like, do you think it's a lot worse for the protesters in general? Because from what we experienced with you live streaming and just being in general talking to you, it feels a lot more like, I don't know, like it feels a lot more stricter. You know what I mean? Like since day one, like it seems to have got worse since you got arrested, and like they're picking people out since like they know woke, like they're watching it like spies. You know what I mean? Do you feel it? Yeah. Do you feel it's like a lot worse? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's any worse than it's ever been. I think that usually it's only one day long. So you go to the protest. We get beat up by the cops, and then we go home, and then you wait until the next protest. But this particular protest happens every day, so there's no time between getting beat up by the cops, flashbanged and tear gas and pepper balled and rubber bulleted and beanbags and all the things they do, batons, push you on the ground, yell at you, all these things has only in the past been one night at a time or one day at a time, and now it's every day. And,
what does it feel like to be around tear gas or to have it like sprayed right in your face?
Tear gas is the worst of all of them. So here in Portland, we've had two different types of tear gas, or three different types of tear gas, I guess. So the Portland police used one type, and the courts here said that they had to stop, so they switched to a nicer version. And then the feds, when they came in, they used a stronger version.
Just the I hate everything in the world thing.
Yeah. So what tear gas does for me is you notice it first with the smell. It has a very distinct smell. As soon as you smell that, you're like, "Fuck! I gotta figure out where I'm gonna go." 'Cause I have seconds before my eyes are about to start stinging, my nose is about to start stinging, my throat's about to start stinging. And so once you smell that smell, you kind of like assess where you're at, how bad the tear gas is. If it's really bad, you just gotta wait it out, try to figure out how to get out of there, and people will come and grab you and pull you out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if like for me, tear gas is just it's hard to describe without experiencing it, but your eyes burn. They burn like they've never burned before.
How long does that like burning last?
Yeah, I mean 10, 15 minutes sometimes. But
Jeez.
Wow.
well, like Pickles is here too. Pickles is like a little bit longer sometimes too.
Well, and plus you guys keep getting shot with it like repeatedly, so it's like
5, 6, 7, 8 times
doses.
in the night.
You get used to it, kind of.
Oh, I'm here with Pickles. Pickles has also been protesting for a bit, and he's been right there the entire time, getting tear gas too. So he's got some interesting insight on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It's like so. Like
if I may ask, if I may ask, how long have you been into activism?
High school.
Oh, so like, what year would that be? What year in high school?
I don't know, 90, 96, 97.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So you've been into all that for like since Scream 2 came out in theaters.
Oh my god.
Oh, I saw Scream 2 in theaters too.
Oh my god.
It's my favorite.
What's that?
No, it was a scary movie in 2000. But yeah, that was just a question, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So you've been into activism like since I was like a young kid in '97.
Oh yeah, I mean, since I was like, I don't know, like my family kind of like instilled that sense in me, and then in high school, it's just you see a lot of stuff as you're becoming an adult or growing up.
What's been the worst police interaction you've ever had at a protest?
Getting arrested?
The worst police interaction, probably Donovan getting shot in the head.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely Donovan getting shot.
So for people that don't know, like there's definitely lots of articles and we can put them up on the screen, but can you describe like what happened with Donovan?
So the day before was his birthday. Donovan brought a speaker to the protest and let people play music just to de-escalate. He play music sometimes, but he's like mostly lets other people play music and brings it around. Has little dance parties and also, blast music at the cops when it's necessary. He had his birthday, and then the next day he showed up, and like 10, 15 minutes after he showed up, things started to go crazy. The came out of the federal courthouse, and so he went up to go play music for them. He had a song he wanted to play, Dax, Black Lives Matter.
He was holding a little boombox over his head.
It's a speaker. It's like
a speaker. Okay.
Yeah, it's a big speaker. I'll send you pictures of it.
A boombox. There I go, showing my age.
A boombox.
Fucking boombox.
It'll be put in the video.
Insert 80s picture of Boombox here.
He played tapes. So he was up there across the street from the federal courthouse building, and they started tear gassing people, and so they shot a tear gas canister at him, and he kind of kicked it away with his foot, and it didn't go really far, so he, bent down, grabbed it, and they're really hot. He grabs it and just kind of like tosses it in front of him, gets it away from him. He takes and puts the speaker back above his head, blasting music, and then there was like a boom sound, and Donovan fell down. They shot him in the forehead with a rubber bullet. He went down, and he has some really severe injuries. It was coming out of his ears, and his eyes, and his nose. He was vomiting it. He couldn't breathe. Like, he was not okay. Like, there's an indentation in his forehead. Like, blood is coming out of that. Like, his face is like hanging. It was horrific.
It's fucked up because literally hours before that happened, we were like all on cam, like we're all shooting the shit with each other.
We just met him. We just met him that day.
Yeah. We were saying like happy birthday, like nice to meet you, like hope you guys have fun, like, and then within hours, like his whole fucking world changed.
That night.
Exactly. It's like we met the person and we got to know the person, and then next minute in they're just getting shot and seriously hurt. So it's like
one shot changed his life.
Exactly.
Ever.
He's still like in hardcore recovery. It's gonna take years for him to hopefully heal.
Hopefully.
So, I mean, considering that you've seen things like that happen, and it obviously, like, it hits so close to home, do you personally, like, at any point over the last 3 months, is there any point where you felt empathy for the police that I know, right, some of the protesters are starting to recognize the cops and vice versa. Like, at any point, did that cross your mind, or is it like this is a very clear-cut line?
I think it's a very clear-cut line. Even out there, like, they like try to engage sometimes in conversation, but the conversations they're doing are just it feels like it's a distraction, and they use the same terms and phrases over and over again. I don't see how I could possibly like empathize with people who would do things like this. To the people out there who are doing this are putting their bodies on the line. They're putting their safety on the line. They're putting their actual lives on the line.
Oh yeah.
To be out there to protect an idea and to protect actual human beings. I've seen so many people jump in front of other people to take munitions, quote unquote, non-lethal, less lethal munitions, and get hurt very badly.
That's the thing too. That's the thing too, Cheeto, is like getting to know you and all your people in Portland, like to all of us like out that are not in Portland, like it affects us too personally because we see it like differently because we're friends with you and like people who we meet through you. Like we met a lot of people through you that on the ground and talk to people too, like that homeless guy that we met. Like like I can't speak for the rest of us, but for me personally, like it affects us too because because we get to know like different people, like their backgrounds, like we get to talk to people, and when these shit happen, just like your friend Donovan gets shot at, like it affects us personally because we know the person, and like I don't know, it feels different.
It brings it to a different level.
Yeah, it becomes more personal at that point.
I mean, we're just people trying to, like Pickles said, stand up for the right thing. Like, we're just trying to stand up for the right thing and do what we believe is right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's been like a lot of people, coming together and in different states, doing the same thing. Is there a consensus amongst the crowd of what they want, like what's being demanded?
I mean,
like, does everybody want to defund the police? Like, what's the goal?
It really depends on the groups that are out there. People assume that like everybody's out there and has like this organized groups and we meet and do all this stuff, but really it's just people who go there. Most people go with 1 or 2 or 3 people, and that's what they do. Most people don't have a group they go out with or a sense of ideology that they necessarily like
Agree
have
on.
figured out in their heads, but everybody knows that things are wrong and things need to change. So ideas are constantly being put out there, and so like the moms came out, the wall of moms came out, and they came out and did their thing for a minute until internal fighting and drama happened with them. Dads came out, like all these groups come out that kind of pop up and organize, but at the end of the day, like everybody who's constantly out there and doing stuff are just fucking normal people who
The working
really,
people.
yeah, people who don't have
Ew.
a lot of resources in life and are trying to change things for everybody else in the same situation, or who have it even worse than they do. So it's yes, we want, like, there's an overwhelming sense of, yes, taking money from riot cops, take their money away and move it into community development. Like, instead of
Yeah.
like cops showing up when someone's having like a mental like crisis, instead of having the police show up, maybe having trained professionals who are able to deal with people in a mental crisis, instead of arresting them and potentially shooting them, taking care of them. Yeah, like social workers, therapists.
Exactly. It's like you have to have the right people for the right situation. You can't just throw a piece at everything. It's not.
Well,
It's not practical at the end of the day. Like you can throw the piece at anything, but at the end of the day, it doesn't solve the problem of people who have mental problems, who have domestic problems, who have abuse. Like you can't throw the police at absolutely everything. They're not trained. It's about training.
like having a person with a gun on
Yeah,
him is not the safest feeling thing.
Yeah, like you could.
It's not, especially when that gun's trained on you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Terrifying.
Like
Another question I want to say, because I mean, Bunny has a lot of questions, but like I just have like 4 more questions. But like,
No, please go ahead.
I just want to say, Cheeto, how long have you lived in Portland?
Oh, dude, most of my life.
Okay.
I've lived in multiple other cities I travel around, but Portland has been almost all of it.
So Portland has been your home this entire time?
Portland, yep. I mean, this is where I'm doing my thing, I guess.
It's just your home, and you want to be there for your home.
Do you see yourself staying there for, like, let's say, the next 10 years?
Oh, I'll always be here. I move around, but I'll always come back.
Aw, nice.
Yeah, it's like with what Dorothy said. There's no place like home.
It's pretty amazing. Like, here's the thing. Like,
Ew, bless me. Sorry.
Gesundheit.
Portland's like kind of like a Gesundheit.
I'm gonna edit Heinrich Himmler for me saying Gesundheit.
Yeah, definitely keep the sneeze in. Like, that's funny. I like that.
Oh, definitely.
I like that song, even though it's like a Nazi song. I like it.
You're not supposed to like Nazi song?
Hey, you know what? The Hugo Boss dressed the Nazis, and we all can agree that Hugo Boss looks sick. Okay, there's just some things. There's just some universal truths you can't.
Are you talking about the designer?
Nice looking fucking suit.
And the Erica song is badass. All right.
Come on, man.
The Hugo Boss designer is hot, right? That's what you're saying?
What?
You're talking about the Hugo Boss designers. You like them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like the song.
I guess it's just the house as a whole. I don't know. They just did a fantastic job. I'm not saying I like the Nazis they dressed, but the clothes were superb.
Yeah.
Well, another question I want to say to Cheeto, and this is a funny question. Do you think Joe Biden is a better option?
This is how I feel about all of it.
Ooh, this is pretty good.
All right,
when it comes to the election, Trump can't be the president. Trump, no. Just fucking no. Joe Biden, well, but if I have to choose between Joe Biden and all of that bullshit and whatever Trump is trying to do, like, can you imagine Trump for 4 more years? not possible.
Do you think if Biden won, like, let's say if Biden won, like, do you think there would be like a turnaround, like things would start getting better, or what do you think?
I think that things would start to revert back to how they were. Now, that wasn't the greatest of situations, but I think that at least a small reversal of, stopping Muslims from coming to the country and building a fucking wall between here and our southern neighbors. Like, I don't understand, like why ICE goes out and takes children, like all of these things. Like, there's so many policies that have changed, and like Biden doesn't sit on Twitter all day and make up funny names for people he doesn't like and attack them. Instead, like,
oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Posting dick and fart jokes, to get a fucking rise out of the people.
Like, maybe it'd be nice to have an adult in charge for a little bit, even if that adult is corrupt as fuck. At least we have an adult who understands
politics.
Yeah, and how to deal with foreign countries and how to not fuck us over in the end. Like, maybe have the intentions of the country, or at least slightly making things not, I don't know, like, the way things are now are not sustainable. If we continue on this course, like, we're fucked.
This is the thing about this. Sorry, yeah. The thing about, you're right. The thing about what I think you're trying to say is you're putting a businessman, which is Trump, in charge of a country. It's different to a politician. He's not a politician at the end of the day.
He's running it like a business.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
The problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is he's running the United States of America like a business. It's like anything. We don't want a businessman in charge. It's not a business. It's a country. It's a whole population of people. You don't want a fucking businessman running a fucking country. It's ridiculous.
Just look at all the trade tariffs, man.
Exactly.
It hasn't made any more money or nothing.
I will say the one good thing is that he ended the TPP on his first day in office, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is just like.
He's also somewhat touched on prison reform, like he's been looking at specific cases and shit.
Yeah,
but those are very few and far in between.
Very few firm, and not to mention, and I will also say this: he did sign these laws on for musicians to get a livable wage, which was a one step in the right direction. I remember seeing the basis for obituary, tweeting on that, and also Ken Sorceron of Abigail Williams tweeting on that. And I was like, okay, that I can get behind on, but this is
not every step he takes is gonna necessarily be a bad one. I mean, there's always good and bad.
It's exactly. I mean, every good thing you're gonna have a lot of bad shit and stuff. So I mean, of the two people of the 2016 election, Trump was obviously going to be the lesser of two evils because who the fuck would vote for Hillary?
The party, that's the thing. The party was too far gone. So I was saying earlier, it was literally a fuck it vote. Fuck it. Just who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we can do that this time. We cannot do that this time. There's no fuck it votes. It's too important because look what's happening. People are dying in the streets now. People are getting shot by people.
Yeah,
I will say this: if Biden wins, I'm gonna laugh so fucking hard. I'm gonna laugh because, as a person who has watched, I mean, you all know the Fairly Odd Parents show, right? Back in Nickelodeon. So, I mean, with all this, the footage of Joe Biden, his dementia and stuff on his speeches, I can imagine Biden, you won the election. What are you gonna do now? And he's gonna go, I'm going to escalator land. And all of a sudden, when's the ride coming? And Joe Biden's gonna be all this is the ride.
Christ.
Oh god! I mean, I wouldn't be pissed or sad that Biden wins. I'm just gonna fucking laugh. And if Trump wins, I'm gonna be oh well. And I just
think he's gonna win. Sorry, Cheeto. I think he's gonna win.
And before I finish, I'm gonna be the Cowboy Bebop, where he goes, "Whatever happens, happens." Lights a cigarette. And nope. It is what it is.
I have a question. Why do you think Trump is going to win?
Because I was saying earlier, when the country seems to be in like shambles, people tend to vote conservative.
Here's the thing, that he's pissed so many people off that normally don't vote.
I know, but the problem is, Cheeto, is that like people, like a huge majority, like the silent majority, like they're not against the protests, but it's been fucking up their lives, and they're like, we're just sick of it, so we're gonna vote Trump so it ends. Like that's like the mind. That's why people tend to vote conservative when situations like this arise.
I will speak on that. I will speak on that because, like, when I was in college during that time, I dealt with like all the raging SJWs saying like, "Oh, if you do this, it's sexist. Oh, if you do this, it's racist. Oh, if you do this, you're homophobic." And it's just like, I just want to play fucking video games for Christ's sakes and shit.
JGW did the worst.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said that, like the protests are affecting people's lives. Like, how are the protests affecting people's lives who aren't right there next to it? Like here in Portland, people freak out about how big the protests are, but really they take up like 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe it's just the way, like, the thing is, I feel like our group is getting such a different perspective because we're like watching it almost firsthand perspective, whereas the media is just showing the highlights. So it's just showing like the country. Oh, look at all these rioters. Look at how they're burning down businesses. So that's the majority that people are seeing on TV. And like, that's why I think the majority is going to be in that mind frame.
I really hope
Not that I agree with it.
But like,
Well,
I mean,
hey,
go
Bunny,
ahead, Cheeto. Go ahead, Cheeto. Go ahead, Cheeto.
if Trump wins, then I'm blaming. I need to get married, Bunny. I'm just saying.
Cheeto, listen. We can get married, okay? It's fine. We can annul it later. We just got to get you in the country.
Oh my god.
Gotta get the borders open again.
I can only marry you guys one at a time, okay? There's like Irish is on a freaking different continent. He has nothing to worry about. We can Cheeto. We can do is gay marriage legal in Ireland?
Yes.
All right, so Cheeto, you got 2 options.
Oh well. 9, you can marry me.
You can identify.
Okay. I'll marry you.
I mean, honestly,
all right, that's 2. That's 2 now.
I mean, like we're scheduling like my brother's bachelor party next year, and I'm hoping it's Toronto, so it'll be like a good excuse to meet Bunny.
IRL meetup. One day we'll just turn Discord on, and we'll be talking, and then Atticus will just like appear in the background.
Creepy.
Stream snipe me.
Oh, here, hold on, check it out.
This is kind of reminiscent of what was going on like in 16, right? Oh, nice. Campfire.
Oh, it's beautiful, Cheeto.
And then this is for the food in a minute. Well,
nice.
The grill.
Well,
very nice.
A little short break. I'm gonna take my pooch out for a walk.
Okay. We'll be here.
Yeah, like I was saying, like it seems really reminiscent of like 2016 to say like, hey, you know, if we get this president that we don't want, we're just going to leave the country. And I think that honestly, like the president doesn't affect your life that much on a local level. And I feel that Cheeto has made like some really good arguments of why like people shouldn't like the current president that we have. But he's made even more arguments for why the people who are local representatives should be taking more care of their citizens instead of taking a backseat leadership role.
Yeah.
Like Ted Wheeler is actually the chief of police and the mayor.
No, he's the police commissioner.
The fucking local mayors haven't stepped up and did their job like anywhere really.
So if he's the police commissioner, he should be able to affect policy on the police force there and be like, hey,
he doesn't. He chooses not to. He makes a fucking conscious choice not to.
Yeah.
So
just let's get the ball rolling.
Cheeto, do you agree with his decision?
Who? Ted Wheeler's decision?
Yeah.
Fuck Ted Wheeler. He should resign immediately.
Who would you put in his place?
Joanne Hardesty. She's one of the city council members. She's been an activist for a long time and been working on police reform. The stuff we're working on, she's been trying to do that for 20 plus years, 30 plus years maybe. So she offered to be the commissioner, because the mayor decides who is the police commissioner, and typically the mayor picks themselves. So Joanne Hardesty she's in charge of first responders, paramedics, fire department, the fire department, and the fire department is great. They don't have the cops come in and use and stage in their facilities anymore and stuff like that. So I don't know, someone who wants to actually make change instead of somebody who is. I don't know if Ted Wheeler is terrified of the police union and is scared that he's going to lose power because of it, and that's why he's not doing anything, or maybe he just decides like he thinks that what they're doing is good. Either way, it's fucked up and wrong because people are getting hurt. And how many millions of dollars has the city spent on just making sure that protesters who throw fucking water bottles and like fires in the streets are getting tear gassed and pepper balled and fucking maced and
And the other side,
flashbang.
and the other side of that too, Cheeto, is the legal fees of arresting all these people. Like, I can imagine your legal fees when you got arrested. So imagine that by, say, like, however many people got arrested in the past 6 months. Like, you can imagine the amount of money that they've wasted.
Well, here's the thing: the DA here in Multnomah County is not. They dropped all the charges for everything except violent crimes. So people who were just arrested for rioting, IPO, interfering with a peace officer, escape, minor charges, all got dropped. Everything got dropped. They're not.
Cheeto?
Yeah.
So I was just telling the boys earlier. So I was just watching Tim Pool today, and he said that Trump put through. I don't know if it's an order, but he's basically said that he's gonna federal agents are gonna be there, and they're gonna be arresting protesters, and they're gonna be taking them in federally rather than locally. Like, they're trying to change it so that people can't go in and then just be released. Like, they're trying to pin really heavy charges on protesters from today forward. That's what he just said.
Yeah, that's what they're working on. Here's the thing, though. So the ACLU is out there. They're in blue at all the protests, and then there's the National Warriors Guild (NLG), who is also out there. They have fluorescent green hats, and they document and take care of everything. They are there for us, the protesters, to make sure that the government isn't overreaching. And I don't know how many lawsuits they filed, but they keep winning over and over and over again because the government's overreaching every fucking time. So, the courts are slow, but the government tries to do something, even though they know they're going to lose. They'll do it until they're told to stop by the courts, and the courts keep telling them to stop.
So do you see an end in sight to the protest? Like, what's it going to take for the protest to stop?
Well, here in Portland, I doubt the protest will stop until after the election. Everybody is just in Portland. Things are not going to change quickly. So until things change, people are down to protest, and people in Portland are down to protest. So I've heard multiple people state these protests now are just training for the run up for the election, because once the election happens, people are ready to even ramp up and go harder and protest more.
It's funny. That's what I was saying to Nine, because we were talking about actually earlier, I would say a month ago, we were all thinking it seems like things are starting to calm down and whatnot. But then it just got triggered again, and I'm like, you know what? It's gonna go until the elections and after, because there's no way it's gonna slow down now. We thought it was going to, but it just all ramped up again.
Yeah, I'd say it's just like week 1 and 2. Like as soon as that guy got shot in the back, Wisconsin was just fucking people looting fires and fucking smashing everything in sight. Just groups everywhere. It was just like watching week 1.
I mean, they don't even have to people are gonna die all the time, so they don't need a new reason. They're gonna have a new reason.
Oh yeah. Cops always go up and beyond the Call of Duty all the time. The problem is now everyone's filming. So you can't get away with anything anymore.
The revolution won't be televised; it'll be streamed.
Exactly.
I don't know. Things are ramping up pretty heavy right now. So Saturday, there was a parade of Trump supporters that came through town. Hundreds of cars came through town, and just so
Yeah, that's
Pickles and
when
I,
what's his
we
name died.
were running to the end. Yeah, so Aaron Danielson died. So we actually met the guy that day. Pickles and I were running some errands. We were in some luncheon in the park, not downtown, like on the other side of the river from downtown. And we were sitting there and we see all these Trump supporters come by with their flags and stuff. So we got up and we're all just standing on the corner flipping them off. And you heard this guy goes, "Oh, there's Antifa right there." And 6 guys jumped out and started a fight. They just started a fight. Like they jumped out of their cars. They put their they handed their beers off to other people. And one of the dudes, so they ran up to Pickles and pushed him, and then a fight started, and then suddenly there's 6 dudes there. So Pickles is out because 6 dudes all trying to fight, and then this one guy runs towards me, and he's about to punch me, and I'm like, I'm in a fucking sling. His friend grabs him. It's like, dude, no. So they hop out. We booked it home and got out of there, but watching footage later, we're like, oh, those are the guys who were super fucking aggressive and trying to just beat up two guys standing on the side of the road, flipping them off because they're yeah, that was so important to them to do that. What the fuck? But with Michael, the guy who was the suspected shooter, he was killed by the cops yesterday. And everybody here is freaking out. It's a lot.
Yeah, I only read it today or yesterday that guy died, but I mean, it's even if you're a shooter, you don't shoot the fucker. Even I know if your life is if you're the police, obviously, and your life is a threat, at risk, you shoot the fucker. But at the end of the day, you don't shoot him if your life is not in threat, quote unquote. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to me anyway.
Witnesses said that 40 to 50 shots were fired at him. 40 to 50 shots. There's video. There's video of him on the ground, and you can see how tore up his body is from all the fucking bullet wounds.
If we have that clip, then just show it. I don't know.
Cheeto's talking about the Proud Boys / Trump group that showed up at the protests, and they were confronting Cheeto and him and his friends, and that ended up being the same dude that got shot and killed the other day.
So one of the Proud Boys got murked.
Somebody shot him, and literally Cheeto was just interacting with this dude. It's fucked up.
Wow, crazy.
So as soon as it happened, we called people.
I find it really funny because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's the Proud Boys doing shit. It's the Proud Boys doing that shit." But then I see evidence of the cops, Antifa, and Proud Boys starting shit of a lot of footage, and so I find it interesting that a Proud Boy guy.
It's on both sides.
I find it interesting that a Proud Boy is getting murked. So that's very interesting.
He was actually in Patriot Prayer. It wasn't Proud Boys.
Yeah, he was a Patriot Prayer kid.
I do know that the Proud Boys was founded by Gavin McGuinness.
Gavin McGinnis.
McGinnis,
yeah.
I actually like Gavin McGinnis. I don't agree with everything, but I do love listening to the man talk.
He also disavowed them because originally
he had to.
Because they were supposed to be almost like a Freemason drinking group type deal, where they just get together and do whatever. And then it
was a drinking club, and then it just went too far.
Yeah, because of all the protests and stuff that were going around the country at that time. I don't remember what they're about, but they're mainly started by Antifa. They created their own gang and decided that you had to jump an Antifa member or get arrested in order to be in Proud Boys. And that's what's given them such the bad.
One thing you said, always, like people repeat this all the time. Like, what is an Antifa member? What does that mean? Like, Antifa is a non-existent. Like, it's not an organization.
It's a mindset.
Right,
That's an
but they
ideology.
do organize themselves through
They have
apps and
chapters.
It's an
Facebook.
entity at best.
Like
You do
even
have
if they don't all,
We even
even if
have
they-
Antifa Toronto. Like, I've seen them.
You do have a lot of chapters from around, a good portion of the Western world. So, yeah, they're pretty damn organized.
like it's like the same thing with Black Lives Matter. It's like Antifa means anti-fascist, and almost everybody can get behind that. But behind that, there's also these groups that get together and they cause a little bit of mayhem where they go in certain situations.
And they
And
go after,
They're
honestly,
the ones that literally say, if you're not with us, you're against us. They're the extreme group. Like, it's like, you're with us or against us, and we will punch you. And like, I don't think that's the right method. I don't know. That's my opinion.
So
I've seen footage and stuff of like the guys going after classical liberals, moderate conservatives, centrists, all that libertarians. They go after all of them.
the Boogaloos.
No.
Boogaloo is a psyop, by the way.
Let me give an example of what happens here. Here in Portland, everybody who goes to the protest pretty much blocks up. To block up, you cover your face, you wear all black. You try to hide your identity, and the way that you remain anonymous is you look like everybody else. I've met so many people who just do that so that they feel safe. Who, like, if you call them Antifa, they would be offended. They would be like, not about the anti-fascist part, but like
to be associated with
Well,
them.
like, the thing is, like,
Yeah,
and when we say Antifa, we're referring it in the same way as like saying feminists. Like, it's not all feminists. We're talking about like the extreme part of it.
At the protest,
like Chanty Binks, the red hair, who's like, I'm reading.
That happened in Toronto. That happened on the University of Toronto. She lives here. I might know her. Jordan Peterson lives here too. He lives like 10 minutes away from me.
God, the fact that you know Chanty Binks. Oh, I gotta do. I'm kidding, buddy. I love you.
But yeah, there wouldn't be so much of like a focus on the fact that Antifa is this big bad thing or whatever, if the fact that they didn't try to shut down freedom of speech in some situations or
who
use
are they though? Who are they?
The fucking
That's the problem. They block their faces. We can't see who they are.
Well, the fucking media brings them out to be like a fucking gang.
No, the media. Like I've been
they're spinning them up like
yelling.
Let Cheeto speak.
So I've been sitting there and with a group of people who are, I don't know, 50s, 60s, who are just covering their faces just because they're terrified of getting doxxed and having their grandchildren harassed, because that actually happens. And then people come like, you Antifa fucks, and yelling. It's like these people don't have any ideology about.
But there are actual groups with the black and red flag saying we are Antifa.
Sure, there are, but most of the time at the protest, that's 10 or 20 people maximum. The rest of the people, it's not like this huge situation. The people who do that are a tight-knit group, and they don't share information or talk to anybody else. They share
like us, basically.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. I don't think it represents the whole the protesters as a whole. I feel like that Antifa in and of itself is its own thing.
Like the media's spinning out the protesters as some gang.
You're all part
fucking,
of it.
Yeah, they're all burning the fucking shit down.
Well, it's obvious they're not, because you can tell.
And it's Antifa. And it's Antifa leading them. You know what I mean?
It's good we're having this conversation because we can actually bring down the real stuff and stuff.
We don't have to agree on everything. That's the problem. It's people are seeking to like agree on everything. Like, you guys got to come over to our side. It's like, no, the literal definition of tolerance is dealing with something that you don't necessarily like, but you don't hate. You're just tolerating it. And I think the word tolerance has been like misinterpreted to mean if you're not with us, then you must in some form be against us. And I just that like the left and right have been so polarized that both sides are so far apart from each other that the middle is a large portion.
And
like
centrism is being like seen as like a bunch of cowards and stuff. When all we're being is like, okay, I see all the stuff on you guys from the left, and I see what you guys are doing on the right, and I've come to my conclusions that you all are fucking bunch of dummy ass fucks. But it's good we're having this conversation because Cheeto is bringing out some like good, actual stuff,
first-hand perspective.
Like that's what's going on. That's why we're doing this whole thing, so we can get the message out clear.
And that's the thing. Like, not all of us are particularly left, middle, right. Like, all of us have different opinions. Like, we don't all agree with each other, but like, this is a perfect example of how like people with varying opinions and whatever can be friends. Like, it's fun to just talk about it. We don't have to like always end every discussion with, well, how do we settle this? It's like, no, it's fun to just like talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that I disagree with Cheeto, and there's some things that Cheeto disagrees with me on. But like, I consider him a fine lad, and I like
fine young lad,
a fine lad. And I think Cheeto likes me as well, and it's like we can talk about stuff here and there.
Yeah, man.
And that's how us grown adults doing stuff. We just talk about shit.
I just think that if we're going to be having protests and we're going to be trying to lower the level of violence and everything, then both sides need to be accountable for the people who are next to them and know who they are and be like, hey, look, why are you here? And they're like, got a bag of fucking fireworks. You're like, bro, we're not trying to stop. We're not trying to throw fucking fireworks and get shot at. Like, same thing with the people. There was a 3%er protest that was like with rifles, and some dude showed up with like a Nazi symbol, and they said, "Get the fuck out of here." They like held him accountable. They're like, "No, we're not going to have your Nazi symbolism here. This is not what this is about." Like, you need to do that on both sides so that you can de-radicalize the situation, and then you get to the point where like the police are just standing there going, why the fuck are we even here? And then they stop showing up and nobody's burning down any buildings or hurting anyone. And then you can actually form that group that goes to your government and goes, look, you guys fucked up. You guys aren't being leaders. We need somebody who's in there that's better at the job than you are.
Exactly.
Well said.
That honestly, that is like the perfect analogy of like the whole shit with the Great Rebellion. That is good. I like it. All right, so I got 2 more questions, even though I had to like walk the dog. And stuff.
Yeah, we're getting so much accomplished, Chad. I'm very proud of us.
Before the question,
so
hold on, Atticus, real quick. Before that, there's like something that happened that really showed the good of humanity. Did you guys see the video of when Jay got shot here in Portland?
No, would you be able?
Everybody ran up to him.
Can you link it to us actually so that Atticus can add it to the video later?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So
the first
right winger that got murked.
Yeah, the guy that got murked. So the guy that got murked, as soon as that happened, he fell on the ground, and two medics that are labeled like Antifa medics, like all black, from the BLM side, ran up and started to help. Now his best friend, who was there with him, pushed them back, and they ignored it. And even though political differences, ideology differences, all of that, the medics came from the other side of the protest and immediately started to try to help. Immediately started working on them, pulled out all of their equipment, all the tools, and started to try to help this person who was hurt, even though they were not on the same side.
And he was
humanity. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did that. But
Did they
you know,
mention that in any of the articles? Did you like?
They
Did
mentioned originally that he was a Black Lives Matter protester that got shot, and then they had to redact that to say that it was a Patriot Prayer one.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the video, and you can see his friend pushing him away and like grabbing something. But like after that happened, all like the medics immediately started back to work, and they continued to work until the police came and started kicking their gear away and like pushing him on the ground and getting him out of the way. It didn't matter to the medics who this person was. They saw a person that was hurt, and they tried to help. And that's the thing. Like people,
Yeah,
people
it reminds
label.
me of like I think I've seen this like a meme a long time ago, probably around 2015, where like black medical, like paramedics were helping out a KKK member that was like hurt and stuff, and it's like it doesn't matter like what ideology and stuff. But like, I mean, don't get me
That's
wrong.
the thing. Like, yeah, and I'm in healthcare. Like, I don't care if a terrorist is wheeled into the hospital. Like, we're there to help them. It doesn't matter why they're there, or who they are, really. I mean, that's the oath you kind of take.
It's like the Hippocratic.
Yeah, like
Greek accent.
if I was in New York and it was 9/11, they wheeled and terrorists that were involved, I'd still help. It's like I'm not there to judge. It's just there to help. I hope that most medical people
like
follow that ideology.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse had a medic station in Wisconsin. So they were part of a libertarian group, which isn't necessarily pro-Trump or whatever, and they be on, but they were also helping the protesters that were getting hurt there. So, I mean, there are good people there. The problem is the extremes, right?
Yeah, Kyle Ritten, whatever the fuck his last name. That's what I call him and stuff. Like, everyone, like, when the whole shtick started, when I was up in Tennessee, they were all making Kyle Rittenbacher, whatever the fuck his last name is, as, like, this evil, like, Hitler Youth motherfucker and stuff. But then the other side was saying, like, oh, the one guy with the skateboard was a wife beater, and the one dude he shot first was, like, a sex offender. And shit, and it's just like the whole shit was just one big, huge, lovely bowl of autism.
Yeah, it's who can we make look worse so our side looks like they're better.
It was just everyone just arguing. It was just one huge, lovely bowl of autism. That's how I saw it. I'm like, y'all are gay.
Throws on Daniel Glover. This is America.
Yeah. Yes, Childish
I love that song.
I love that song too.
I put in a Tariq Nasheed song, "It's Time," on my one of my videos 2 years ago. It was hilarious.
I see your legs, I see your hot body. Want you to know I came here to party.
Because it was a video that I made on my channel on my series Crucifixion of the Mainstream Media, and it was called the Greek Tragedy of that one article that says, "For the love of God, do not meme Childish Gambino's This is America." So that was what I was doing on, and I was like, I mean, Vice used to be interesting, but then became like full hardcore leftist shit, and I'm like, but then I started to watch Vice again with the Dark Side of the Ring series, because, wrestling.
Yeah.
Vice.
I think this was good. Like, we got a lot of questions answered. I think we got a lot of first-hand perspective from Cheeto. Cheeto's always coming in, chilling with us, so this won't be the last time he'll be here, most likely.
But I got
That's a good flow.
questions.
All right, what you got?
2 more questions.
Go for it.
And it'll probably be the end of it. So the first one, I mean, the first of 2 questions is obviously, you're probably going to say, oh, this is going to be this. Are all cops bastards?
Until they stop protecting each other, they are. Once they become human beings, then how do you trust somebody who will defend their coworkers over the law, and their job is to fucking enforce the law, not defend their friends. So until they do that, fuck them all.
Yeah, that's what I meant on that's what I said on my Big Mad video, is that all of society as a whole thinks that all cops are bastards. And I remember having an argument with my aunt when I was up in Tennessee, and she was saying, "Oh, that doesn't say otherwise." And I'm like, talking to you, I'm like, that proves my point that all of society believes that all cops are bastards because they care about their own people instead of the law. So until reformations happen and get the training and stuff, and where they care about people as well as upholding the law, then all people are going to say all cops are bastards and blare songs like "Fuck the Police" and "Cop Killer" from Body Count. Great band, by the way.
Yep.
Love it. So that was my other question, and this is just non-political question. Cheeto, where would you like to travel when the coronas finally fucks off? Good.
Somewhere warm and sunny with not a lot of people and no politics.
Like Canada.
Yeah,
Like
Canada,
Florida?
totally warm. Oh yeah, Florida's no politics. Or maybe it's just like I could do South America or the
Come to Ireland.
Ireland.
I have
Get
one
some
final
French fries.
question.
Ireland has no politics. Palau.
But so Cheeto, you like somewhere warm and sunny? So I'm saying so you like Florida then?
I just when this is done, I would like a break from thinking about it while. So secluded and warm and sunny. Just not a lot of people. I don't want to once this is done, I just need a 3-month break from politics.
Oh
Cheeto,
man, so
Cheeto, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Cheeto, is it fair to say that the protests are the reason why many people got laid who probably wouldn't have otherwise?
all right. So while a lot of people did get laid at the protest, there are a lot of people who also are very. I don't know. I think it comes down to people's comfortability with dealing with that shit. So whether at the protest, think of the protest as a scene. So whether you go to the club and you're a fucking wallflower or you're sitting at the bar, same thing at the protest.
People are making friends.
It's really funny because I know this one girl off of Instagram, and she was doing a protest up in Jack's Beach, where I'm from, and she's held a sign that says "Big Black Cock Matters."
Well, she obviously
sure
found the
does.
big black cock that she liked. So
It does matter. That's the thing about it. It does matter.
I think that we
It
can
does
all
matter.
agree that big black cock matters.
Big black
Oh,
cock
yeah.
matters. Pickles.
The
It's still a big
black
pussy.
cock matters.
the black dick matters. Oh my god, I'm going to hell.
BBC for life.
People are just people. Let them do what they're gonna do. Golden rule.
Human nature.
Bunny on black. Okay, I'm done.
I think we did good.
I love it.
Alright,
Really
this is a
good.
pretty successful drunken podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Cheeto. Did you have as much fun as we did?
Absolutely. I've been a little
Are you
busy
as
lately.
drunk as we are?
I'm working on it. I'm trying.
Okay, that's a fair and honest answer. I like that.
Can we end the podcast with a bowl or something?
Oh,
Oh.
please, guys.
Did someone say ball?
1 second, I gotta turn my camera on.
I've been coughing for the last 3 minutes.
I'll go get some cereal.
Oh, well, give me a minute. I'm going.
All right, yeah, I need a minute too. I'm in the backyard with the fireplace.
Yeah.
With the fireplace. With the
I'll switch over.
Smoke in my house, so I'm just gonna crack open another Alpha Greek beer. So.
All right, shotgun a beer.
Oh, shotgun a beer. You guys want to have a shotgun about this? I've never shotgun a beer before.
Oh my god, you should do it.
No, I've shotgun like hundreds.
Do it.
It's my
Do
favorite-
it.
Do it.
Well, I found some box wine. Oh my god, box wine.
Oh,
You
geez.
and your fucking gay box wine.
You're
Thank
going
you,
to
whoever did that. I love you. It's probably me.
So in the other server at Chillin', in the stoner server, there's a guy and he has a gigantic dildo just beside him at all times. I'm like, why do you have that? He's like, because it's the biggest one I could find.
So you can show it up your ass?
I guess. Whatever floats your boat.
I'm just walking around right now. Oh, we went and got the bong inside. Now we're going back outside. It's kind of dark here, so hold on, maybe light.
All right, just let me know because I'm about to crack open my alpha.
Yeah, we'll do
right.
a cheers to end the podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta get your drinks, boys.
Oh, I just had some wine.
That works.
I'll do the outro if you want. Thank you for watching the Bunny and Friend podcast. If you like this episode with Cheeto, please subscribe and tap a like on the video and share on Twitter or any social media. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you next week or the week after, whenever we decide to record again and get pissed drunk again.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow's 100 days. Tomorrow's 100 days in Portland, so
Yay!
So here's to 100 days, boys. Cheers.
Cheers!
cheers.
100 likes for 100 days, and we'll see you next time. Good day. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Bunny and Friends podcast with our awesome friend Cheeto. Make sure to tickle that like button and subscribe for more.